We hairy game lords have been playing Moon from Sinister Fish. What did we think? Let's find out! Slightly Beardy James here. So we've been playing Moon. And in Moon you are one of four, in our case, 4 moon bases that are building up and trying to become the capital of the moon. Because the moon needs a capital, and you could be the capital of the moon in this game. So in Moon you're going to be drafting cards. They're going to be moving around the players and you get to pick one. And then they move on to the next person. You get to pick one of the next ones. And then they move around to the next one. And as you're picking these cards, you're going to be paying resources, but you're also going to be adding special buildings to your base. So there's a few different types of buildings there, where the blue buildings, which build at one side of your base, and those produce stuff. So it could be water, it could be metal, it could be energy, it could be biopoo, space poo, because that's what we make potatoes with in space. And then on the other side, you might be collecting yellow cards. Yellow cards are more kind of industry based. Well, kind of like I guess there's a few different types of flags that you're going to be gaining as you go through that one. So you could be gaining things about residential things, science things, transport, loads of different ways to kind of like develop your area of the moon to make it as good as possible. You've also got some pink buildings which give you like some great kind of powers. You've also got some grey buildings which are at the end of the game scoring. At the end of the game you just want to get as many points as you can. And this game is a really, really good game for building combos. If you like an engine builder, then you will love this game. Because there's so many ways you can work lots of different aspects to kind of like to do something that will really bring together some like clever turns near the end of the game especially. So as you're going through the game, you're going to be collecting more and more stuff to build better things. In my personal moon base, I just went stuff heavy. I got so much piles of resources, which opened up a lot of stuff. But it also gave me access to the things in the middle. So we are all trying to make the best moon base. But in the middle, you've got the options of, I guess, satisfying contracts. So one of the contracts was to get rid of all of your little rovers off to different places. One of the contracts was to spend 4 resources in a turn. One of them was to burn a card for the stuff, although I think it was called assimilating a card. When you assimilate a card, you got the little option of getting an extra little thing instead of building something. So by doing that, I was getting a lot of kind of, I guess, kind of like one-time powers and also some ongoing powers through my game. I made my base really strong and I looked very impressive. Very impressive. But I did not make the points to win the game.
Why, James? What did you do wrong?
Okay, mistakes were made. Oh my goodness. Right, first and foremost, I played this game really well. And I was...
Not that well.
Really well. I mean, this says something about the winners' playing abilities, but I was making so many smart decisions, and at the end, like, I'd got piles and piles of resources, and I'd chosen a grey card that would convert all of my one type of resource into points. And I was thinking so cleverly about this, and I told everyone how I was going to convert all of my metal into points at the end of the game, and they said, "Metal? You're going to convert your metal into points?" And I said, "Yes, I'm going to convert my metal into points." And so I turned all of my stuff into metal. Got to the point scoring area, and what can I turn into points? Energy. Which lost me 26 points, I'm not going to lie.
I lost your second place, didn't it?
Yeah, I lost my second place. But it's not about the winning, is it though? It's about the having a really good time. So
no, it's about the winning.
Now, I'm going to say it, this game is fantastic. If you are a fan of villages and streets, then actually you'll be surprised by this one because it's really different. Really, really love the way they've approached something which builds tableaus and something which builds engines. It works nicely with the theme because the theme has got this idea of visiting each other, so you can kind of like borrow resources from each other, and you want to make the most of that. But this game is so nice to play. It's got a solo mode as well, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, if you enjoy a game that is going to keep you coming back, keep you engaged all the way through it, we were so into this game right to the end of it. This game is fantastic.
Bearded lady here. Now, I have to say, yeah, this is a great game. As always, these games look good from Sinister Fish. For me, I think it is my favourite out of all of the games in terms of art-wise. On the cards, the card stuff, the card quality is really great. We played Prototype tonight, but it still was really good. But also the artwork went all the way to the edge of the cards, which I really like when a game does that. Has no borders on there. The artwork is free to expand to the edges of the cards. Very nice. Also for me, yes, I've got villagers. Yes, I've played streets. And whereas those have been alright games, this one for me is the best by far. It's really easy to pick up and learn from the off. Whereas other games, Villagers for instance, man, that took me ages to get used to. Also, it's not only good and easy to pick up, but it's a really good, easy teach as well. And, you know me, I'm not great at listening to the rules. And I may have played on my phone even a little bit on this time, but still picked it up really quickly. And so that's a major plus. So you've got the artwork, which is great. You've got the ease that the game is to get into. And then, yes, you have the drafting, which I really liked. I like the way that there was a few times in the game where I was like, man, I don't really need anything. But I can see that Dave, who was after me, would need some of this stuff. So I'm going to either build it or I'm going to burn it or assimilate it so that Dave can't. Fantastic. So there's a little bit of kind of take that within this gameplay. So you've got the drafting, you've got kind of like engine building, and you've got the kind of worker placement. So there are these little wooden, and again, Sinister Fish have produced a whole load of really nice, colourful wooden resources. There are these little wooden rovers. And you start off with, was it 2 or 3? 2. You start off with 2. There are some industries, there are some cards that will help you produce more of those rovers. But when you need to build something and you don't have that resource, or maybe you don't have that flag available, you can send your rover over to somebody else's location, place that rover in their location, and take the resource or the flag that's needed for you to be able to build. Now, unfortunately, that's the rover gone. You will not get that rover back. The person at the end of the era that rover is on, their location, they get to keep that. So it's about creating really good resources for other people to come to and collect.
You had so many rovers.
Yes, I did. I created a very attractive location early on for others to visit, and then I managed to get a card, one of the pink cards that you can flip over and gain points from. And this was, for every rover that was either on a card or in my supply, I would get a victory point for. Holla! Amazing, because by the end of the game, I was scoring big points, which, looking around the board, it looked like I was going to come last. And you know what? I don't mind coming last. I often come last on games, and I enjoy playing the game, which is what every person who comes last always says. But then I spotted this whole thing going off where Cocky James was like, yeah, I'm going to change all of these, all of my resources into metal because I'm going to get points. Brilliant. I could see the mistake that was coming. So funny when he changed all of that stuff and then had to be told, by Nick.
I didn't cry, okay?
Oh my word. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Saw me get second place. Good times. So yeah, really, really enjoyed the game. Really looking forward to playing it again. So check it out on Kickstarter. Get involved, people.
Hi, Dave the Grey.
Dave.
Nah, I'm not one to laugh at another man's misfortune. And actually, I would have won even if James hadn't just shot himself repeatedly in the foot, so I don't need to. So, there's that. I won by miles. Just wanted to get that one out of the way, really. Now, Villagers, I really enjoyed. Streets, have a look down there, you'll see my review of Streets. These guys quite enjoyed it. Was not for me at all. This one, I loved. I found it a lot more intuitive than Villagers, because Villagers took me sort of half the game to actually figure out what I was doing, what strategy to actually go for. Whereas this, it's got a lot of really cool stuff, but it's one of those games that after a couple of rounds, you feel like you've played it before because everything just clicks into place, which was really cool. Now, my game was a bit weird, to be honest, because to start with, I had nothing but yellow buildings which give you flags, which was ace, because in the middle there's a bunch of goals, and I managed to hoover up not as many as James. He was just going crazy, and I think forgot that he had to do those.
No, I didn't forget.
but
you guys got there before me, and it annoyed me. But I still came second, even though I didn't get any goals.
But not first. But I got a couple of really nice goals from building the yellows up. You've also got expedition leaders, which every turn rotates around the table as well. So you're not drafting them, you just get to use them once and then pass them on. But they give you special powers, so some of them just got you a resource. One of them, which was particularly unpleasant, and you have to use it, if you paid to build something, instead of going back to the bank, that went to the person on your right. So you're actually helping your opponents out, which makes you not want to not build, but you need to build to get your stuff. But yeah, my strategy ended up being getting loads of flags. I was skint throughout the entire game. James was absolutely rolling in I don't know. He was sat next to the bank, actually. Maybe that's... yeah, anyway. But, yeah, I was skint throughout the entire game, possibly because every time I got something, I spent it. I built loads of flags, but at the end, I think I was only... you get points for having the most of each type of flag, but I only had one that I won. However, I did get loads of goals, and I also got loads of points from the grey buildings that get you just extra stuff. So one of them, every time I spent metal, I put a heart on it. And at the end of every era, you collect up all the hearts and get loads of points. And then it carries on. So after the first era, I'd got 5 points that stayed on there, and I got 5 points straight off. End of era 2, I had, I think, 7 points on there, which is another 7 points in the bag. So I had quite a nice little engine, even though I wasn't best at anything at the end. I did get more points than everybody else. And as I always say, it's the winning, not the taking part. That is how the saying goes, isn't it? It's the winning, not the taking part.
No, that's not.
Pretty sure that's what it is, isn't it, James? But no, if you enjoy drafting, I enjoy drafting. I'm not very good at it because I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone what was in my hand 4 turns before. But if you enjoy drafting, if you enjoy engine building, this is an absolutely sterling game. Looking forward to playing it again, winning again. Best of the 3 by miles, to be honest with you. But give it a try. I don't think you'll regret it. Definite 2 thumbs up from me. You put that there.